Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Recie Myers. This is Recie Myers coming to you live from Recie's Domain.
I'm Roland.
And I guess I need to start telling you that I am Recie. Maybe some people don't know I'm Claricia, but my nickname is Recie for those of my friends and family who know me. And so every day at 3:30, Roland and I, share a nugget or two with you, sharing what we have learned as we're learning how we can empower ourselves and make money work for us. Now, we've been reading a book called Cash Flow. Thank you. Cash Flow Quadrants. It's been written by Robert Kiyosaki. And in this book, as we're reading, we're really looking at how and what he did to change his life and how we can also do the same thing. Well, Robert starts off talking about, he says, choosing the quadrant. That's the section we're going to be talking about, choosing the quadrants. He says that when he was a young child growing up, he had an opportunity to experience and learn about the 4 quadrants. And he learned that mainly from his rich dad, because his real dad, or biological dad, was the superintendent of education in Hawaii. And, he worked hard, was a very honest man, and he spent a lot of time going to conferences and meetings. And the more successful he became, the less time. Hi, Brenda. Glad you can join us today. Brenda, where are you calling? Where are you tuning in from? I'm hoping you're home, but well, I'll let her to, just in case. So he says that he learned a lot about finances and money and business from his rich dad, because his biological dad, or his highly educated dad, being the superintendent of education in Hawaii, he spent a lot of time going to conferences and meetings, and the more successful his biological dad got, the less time he spent with the wife and the family. And so he ended up spending more time away from the family, whereas his rich dad, the more successful he became, he had more and more time to spend with his family. So that's the key right there. Life is meant to live, to be lived,
Try not to become a clog in the system.
Yeah, and so, what's important to you, you spend time doing. But when we're busy chasing that dollar, you don't have time to spend with your family. So Robert also says that by the time he was 37 years old, he had already failed in each one of those 4 quadrants. He had attempted and he failed in each one. And as he got older, he started reflecting and looking at both of his parents, his rich dad and his biological dad. And at first the differences were very subtle, but then they became glaring. So he said that his biological dad, or real dad, he decided, I'm going to run for governor of Hawaii. And he did. He ran and he lost. The person who won made a statement to him. He said, "You will never get another government job here in the state of Hawaii." And he didn't ever get a job. So he was highly educated, and he was trying to find another job, but he couldn't find a job that would pay him what he was worth. So he had to settle for these other jobs that didn't pay a whole lot. And it was very frustrating for him. And so he decided, let me start my own. I'm going to start my own business. And he made several attempts to start businesses, which all failed. And so that was very discouraging for Robert's biological dad, his poor dad, highly educated poor dad. And so Robert used that experience, and then he compared it with his rich dad's experience. the more successful his rich dad became, it freed up his time so he can do the things that were important to him, spending time with his family. And I mentioned those things that were important to him. He said he wanted to have time to raise his family. He wanted to be able to donate money to whatever his charity was, his favorite charity, and support the projects that he was involved in. So that was on yesterday's. So the main thing today is that Robert learned the differences between all the quadrants, and he made a decision that spending his time on the right quadrants, I mean the business owner and the investor, would afford him the most financial opportunity for freedom. So, Roland and I, we are now retired, and of course, it would be great if we had done all of this at the beginning of our career in teaching. But now that we're not pressured with school and work, and we can take time and work on building a legacy, not just for ourselves, but we're thinking down the road for our children and our grandchildren when we have them, and to be able to affect generations to come. Yeah, so right now we're working on developing our greatest asset. Yes, our brain. So what are you doing to develop your greatest asset? What are you engaging in? One thing I'm going to share with you, and right now this whole week we're working on getting registered with the accounts, the free gold savings account and the Bitcoin account. If you haven't done that yet, just let me know, because I can walk you through this way. You can pay yourself, because you're building your asset column. Because you want to tell us anything about?
Well, I just want to say, because what you want to do is you want to get into a system that's automatic, where you're not working yourself to death. The money is working for you through the system. I liken it to, a pilot in an airplane, a passenger plane. You could put the plane on automatic pilot. Once you do that, the pilot can walk about the cabin, and where he's free from that chore of flying the plane at that minute. That's how we want our lives to be, our financial lives to be. Not where you're working yourself to death, 80 some hours a week, okay? And you're taking time away from your family and, and your spouse, which could spell trouble in the end.
That's right.
But we want a system that works for us and that's automatic. We don't have to constantly be tending it.
That's right. So that's where the business owner and the investment comes in. So invest in yourself in a currency that continues to appreciate. You just leave it, you set your money there, and it just appreciates without you having to worry about it. So it's working for you.
And one of the best things going is going to be gold.
That's right.
Okay. And that's what we're doing. We're saving through gold.
There are reports that say within the next 5 years, an ounce of gold will be valued at $65,000. And so with what we're doing, you invest into small increments, because if you try to go and buy a big gold bar, I don't know how many of you have the funding to do that, but this is a way where you just save in increments, increments of 1 gram, 2.5 grams, 5 grams. Yeah. So this way, you get that, and it appreciates over time.
You can't lose, because if you change your mind, you can always cash your gold out, get more than your money back. So you have nothing to lose. You're paying yourself first. That's what we're trying to do. Pay yourself first through gold.
When you get busy paying all of your bills, then there's nothing left for you. And sometimes, so it's a decided effort to pay yourself, and with what you pay yourself, you you exchange it. It's an exchange for the value of gold. All right. Anyway, we thank you for joining us today. Please share this video out, because if you're catching the replay, even if you are not able to take advantage of the opportunities that are around you, someone else might be able to do it and improve their situation and even positively impact that of their family. We thank you again for joining us. You'll see us tomorrow at 3:30 to share another nugget or two and to learn what we are learning from the book that we're reading, Cash Flow. See you tomorrow, Cash Flow Quadrants. Bye now.